I'm Coyote Peterson. This is Aaron Sanchez, and today we're heading out into the tide pools of Northern California to see what sort of creatures we can find. By the rising and falling of the tide. And in the Half Moon Bay area, if you know exactly where to be at low tide, you stand the chance of finding some very interesting creatures. I'm pretty good at coming across animals on my own, but today I will be following the lead of a true tide pool expert. Aaron Sanchez is a man of adventure, and since childhood, he has had a fascination with the ocean and a love for its animals.
Because it is low tide, but what we really want to do is go to areas where animals have hidden underneath rocks. When the low tide is out, these animals are trapped. They wait here. When the tide comes back in, they swim off and continue on with their lives.
Awesome. All right, well, let's head out there into the tide pools and see what we can find.
Let's do it.
After less than 5 minutes of searching, Aaron came upon the first find of the day. Yeah. What do you got? Oh, wow, I know what that is. That is a starfish, right?
Starfish is pretty common, but the correct terminology is sea star.
Really, that's crazy, but most people don't know that. Every book I've ever seen calls them starfish.
It's pretty common, yeah.
All right, now can we just pick this up?
We can. He's just kind of walking along the surface here, so he's fine.
He's moving extra slow, isn't he?
Yeah. This is a leather star, and the reason it's called a leather star is because it feels actually like wet leather.
Wow, it really does. It feels like a boot.
It's pretty unique.
Doesn't smell like anything, maybe a little bit like the ocean. Can I flip them over on this side? Oh, look at that. Yeah, I can feel, wow, all those little feet are really sticky.
These are actually called tube feet, and this is how the sea star gets around.
All right, well, it's a pretty good start. Let's put him back in the water and see if we can find something a little crazier.
Sounds good.
The leather sea star was pretty incredible, but what we were really after is what Aaron is that we're walking through. Look at this. This is all kelp, and it smells, oh, awful. But it feels really cool when you walk on it. Almost feels like moonwalking. How squishy and bouncy it is. It all feels like rubber. Man, it absolutely stinks. All right, well, I'm gonna catch up to him and see if we can find some more cool creatures. The tide pools were alive with all kinds of interesting and alien-looking animals. We found sea anemones, which might look like a plant, but are in fact an animal, related to coral and jellyfish. That feels so cool. All those little tentacles are so sticky. A nereid worm, which is the ocean's version of a living nightmare. And this one was just a baby, but they can grow to be nearly 2 feet in length. No thanks. Then there were the crabs. Tons of crabs, including the purple shore crab, striped shore crab, and one big Pacific rock crab. Trust me, you don't want to find your finger in those pinchers. Several hours of searching had passed, with no sign of an octopus. But all was not lost, when suddenly we came across another gem of the tide pools. Aaron, I think the toughest part about this is all the terrain. It's so slippery.
You gotta watch your footing.
Yeah, all right, you wanna flip this one?
Let's see what we got.
More crabs, I'm guessing. Oh, look at that, that's an eel!
You know, Coyote, a lot of people think so, but these are in fact a fish called a prickleback. They won't bite, they're actually vegetarians. They mostly feed on seaweed.
All right, let's get them into the bucket so we can try to get a closer look. Now you say I can just pick these up, right?
That's right. Coyote, one thing people might not know is that pricklebacks can actually breathe air.
Really? So they can be out of the water?
They can.
All right, so if I take one out of here and just hold it, it's gonna be fine?
He might be a little slippery, but yeah.
All right, let's give that a shot. Get one of these out of here. All right, I'm going for the big one. Here we go. Come here, big guy. Just move slow. Wow, that is one bizarre looking little creature. It looks like a mix between an eel and a mud skipper. I can see why people would think that these are eels. I mean, I saw it squirming around, I was like, it's an eel, but that's so cool, this is actually a fish. I can see his little prickleback sticking up there. I'm gonna touch that and see if it's actually spiky. Oh yeah, I can feel that. And so that's pretty commonplace, to just flip over a rock in the low tide like this and find piles of them.
At low tide it is. These guys are waiting for the tide to come back in, so they're just gonna be under the